This is Miss Morgan coming to you live from my kitchen. This video will be about the 5 Pillars of Islam fact sheet. As you see the title at the top, you should look at your notes and see if there are spots where you could use more detail. This packet will be the basis of an assignment you're going to do where you make a poster collage about the 5 pillars and then write sentences to explain each of the pillars. So the better information you have in this packet, the better chance you have to succeed on that assignment. So there's some basic facts here for the first pillar, which is called the Shahada, which is the declaration of faith. This pillar doesn't involve a lot of doing, like it doesn't involve a lot of actions and things you can actually do. It's mainly about beliefs. So we have the first part of the Shahada. We have the second part of the Shahada dealing with Muhammad. Okay, so those facts deal with Muhammad. Then I'm going to move on and I have some other facts about the first pillar. Okay, so talks about angels and the role of angels. There's a judgment day where God will look at your actions and decide if you should be in paradise or be punished. Okay, so that's on the last bullet. I should say before I move on to the second pillar that if you need to pause the video at any point to catch up with what I'm saying or to fix your notes, then that's what you should do. I expect you to pause it to fill in information and fix your notes, because I'm not going to go at a pace in the video where every single person can write down everything they might need to. Plus, I only have 15 minutes for the video, so I need to make sure I don't dilly-dally. All right, second pillar, ritual prayer, daily prayer. Okay, this fact, I underlined the different times when Muslims pray. So a lot of people wrote that they pray 5 times a day, and to be more specific, you could add in the specific times of day that they pray. Okay, so I'm all set with page 1. Whenever you are good to go on page 1, you should move on to page 2. So we have a little more about the second pillar on page 2. We have some more facts about the pillar and what it's like. And a prayer leader in Islam is called an imam, I-M-A-M. And you've heard this before, but remember, when they pray, they have to face Mecca. So other aspects of daily prayer, praying anywhere, the compass that they use to help locate Mecca when they're praying, it's called a Qibla compass. So there. So you can read Qibla a little better, Q-I-B-L-A. So it's Arabic. So in English we need a Q-U, but in Arabic that's not needed. So the word is Qibla compass. We have info about prayer rugs. That's important. There's no Sabbath, like Christians consider Sunday the Sabbath, but Muslims do not have a Sabbath. All right, so that's it for the second pillar. Again, pause the video if you need to catch up and make sure your notes are good. So we are going to move on to the third pillar. So I circled A and B because frequently those answers are a little off on people's papers. So why is almsgiving important? So almsgiving is defined for you up in the box. And sometimes people write the wrong number for B, so make sure that number is correct. So C asked you about modern times, how the zakat was used, or is used, I should say. And the green writing to the left that's crossed out, the reason why that's crossed out is because if you look carefully in the reading, which you already returned to me, so you can't look carefully at this point, but it said in medieval times zakat was used for, and it listed things like I have written in green. In modern times, the bullets that I have on my paper, these facts are how zakat is used in modern times. religions. So make sure you have it correct in part C. All right, so more on the third pillar. Does zakat help the Muslim community? That's listed in part D. And if you had trouble with part E, fix your answer. And all three religions have people donating to those who need it. So that's the connection. Well, one of the connections, but the connection with zakat, the third pillar. All right, that wraps it up for me for the third pillar. So we can move on to the fourth pillar. Whenever you're ready, go to that page, the next page. So this page has information about the fourth pillar, and I circled items A and B because people often miss or are a little off on those questions. So, and maybe you switched around the information. Maybe you have what I have under part A with B, maybe not. So, anyway, this is the information you should have. And so fix your notes if you need to. So this next section has a bunch of facts about what Ramadan is like for Muslims. So the first tells you when you have to fast specifically, because it's not all day long. It's most of the day, but it's not all day long. And there's people who are not expected to fast, and those are listed there. We have no food or drink, even water during daylight. And then at sunset, what happens is listed in my third bullet. All right, they read the Quran a little bit each night. It's supposed to encourage people to be generous, encourage equality and charity within the Muslim community. Charity is like community service or like giving donations of food, well, items. Food, I guess, could be an item, yeah, items and money. Okay, so we have why they think fasting is important. All right. Also, forgiving people is important. Being thankful, avoiding arguing is ideal. And then lastly, people sometimes have trouble with D. What do people do at the end? Through remembering that first visit of the angel Gabriel to Muhammad. And then there's Eid al-Fitr is a big celebration they have. So that's something else at the end. So the fifth pillar for the Hajj, there's not a lot for you to fill in because we watched the video on the Hajj. So I filled in some information that comes from the video about the Hajj. And then just make sure that fill-in is correct. Again, these are months relating to a lunar calendar, not a solar calendar, so it's not exactly like our solar calendar, our January, February, March, April, etc. calendar. Okay, when you're all set with page 4, when you're all set with page 3, we will move on to page 4. So again, I typed for you the information that I thought you got from the video on the Hajj. Okay, some people are off on number 6 sometimes, so I would make sure number 6 is correct. And then lastly, some other information about Islam. There's some basic facts here, A, B, and C. We have similarities between Christians and Jews and Muslims. And you heard about the first 2 bullets, actually the first, second, and fourth bullets all were in the video that we watched. And then wrapping it up, we have those 2 films. All right, so you hopefully have better information now that I've shown you this information. And if you need to rewind to any part of the video, go ahead and do it. And this will wrap it up on the 5 pillars of Islam. Will Scott wants me to tell you that he was my favorite student in 2014-15.